Hello and welcome again to the Hour with Jim Pellegrino, where today we have lively, informative discussions with the people from the worlds of healthcare, athletics, and business. On this program, our guests include Jeff Flaks, President and CEO of Hartford Hospital, Marcia Proto, Executive Director, Connecticut League for Nursing, and Marcy McDonald, an English Channel swimmer and podiatrist. So sit back, relax, don't move, and enjoy the hour. Hello, this is Jim Pellegrino, and welcome to the Hour. Our first guest is Jeff Flaks, who is the President and CEO of Hartford Hospital. Jeff, it's good to see you again and great to have you here.
Thank you, Jim.
The last time, Jeff, that you and I were together was an opening of, I think, the East Campus of a Mid-State facility. But prior to that, interviewing on a previous TV show, you were Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer of Mid-State. And from there, you became EVP and COO of Hartford Hospital. And now, as of August 1st, you've just been appointed President and CEO of Hartford Hospital. So you're in a nice track there, Jeff, huh?
It's a fabulous place to be.
Well, young man, you have a great career ahead of you. Someday I may be interviewing you as maybe Secretary of Health Education and whatever, Jeff. So best of luck to you in the future, and congratulations again. So give our audience, Jeff, kind of an overview, a scope of Hartford Hospital, size, number of people, number of physicians, and then your most renowned services.
Sure. Jim, Hartford Hospital is really an extraordinary institution. Founded in 1854, a tremendous richness of its tradition of service within the community. Hartford Hospital has 867 beds, 1,000 doctors, 7,000 staff members. The hospital's specialties are the range from organ transplantation to level 1 trauma to LifeStar, where we operate the air ambulance transplant system for the entire state of Connecticut. So its range and complexity of service truly are extraordinary, and in many ways serves as a safety net hospital throughout the state of Connecticut to provide certain services that can only be provided at Hartford.
Now, that's a large scope of services, Jeff. I mean, the 1,000 doctors, 7,000 employees, 800, almost 1,000 beds at Hartford Hospital. And I know we'll get into this, but you have some expansion plans as well, I think. In terms of size, here in the state of Connecticut and more generally in New England, where is Hartford Hospital?
Well, to give you some perspective, Hartford Hospital this year will do over 40,000 surgeries. That'll place us second to only Mass General in all of New England.
Wow, that's impressive.
This year we'll do over 25 heart transplants, again placing us in the very elite level within the country for things like heart transplantation. So the institution is very significant and certainly ranks within the Northeast and New England as one of the largest and most complex tertiary medical centers.
And by tertiary you mean, Jeff, for the audience's benefit?
Major teaching hospitals. At our institution, we have over 270 residents and fellows who come every day to train at our hospital. And tertiary really being the distinction of providing a whole series of programs and services that are often done at a level where they're aggregated for real true levels of sub-levels of expertise.
So, in terms of the future, Jeff, what does the future hold for Hartford Hospital?
Well, we're continuing to grow. We're continuing to expand our services. We're continuing to build on the expertise that exists within our institution. But Hartford Hospital sits within Hartford Healthcare. And Hartford Healthcare, which is really the parent organization, the health system that includes Mid-State Medical Center in Meriden, Bradley Memorial in Southington, New Britain General in New Britain, which is part of the Hospital of Central Connecticut, Wyndham Community Hospital in Willimantic, and Hartford Hospital. And together, our vision is to truly create the first integrated delivery system in the state of Connecticut that can coordinate care and that can provide a level of excellence, but personalized, navigated health care, which we truly believe will be the ultimate reform in healthcare.
So, Jeff, if you and I were to draw an org chart, right, an organization chart, the mother corporation is Hartford Healthcare, and Hartford Hospital is one of the components, the largest component, under the network of Hartford Healthcare.
Correct.
So you already are known for many services. I mean, you mentioned heart transplants. Are there others, Jeff, and do you see yourself branching out into other renowned areas in the future.
Certainly. The Helen and Harry Gray Cancer Center has a National Cancer Institute designation, which is a very important designation, which provides research and funding and clinical trials available to our patients. Our Cancer Center, our Cardiology Center, which is the Henry Low Heart Institute, are services that truly rank from a research perspective, teaching, and certainly excellence in clinical care. And specifically, when you look at Hartford Hospital, trauma, right, our capacity to deliver emergent services. Our institution provides the air ambulance transport system, the Lifestar helicopter.
Lifestar.
We have nearly 30 residents being trained in emergency medicine, the only multi-person hyperbaric oxygen chamber.
That's wound care, isn't it, Jeff?
Correct.
Yeah.
The toxicology service, as well as emergent and urgent care. So we really are a safety net institution in that way, that for stroke care, heart attack care, our institution is built for 24-hour, 7-day-a-week service to our community in Hartford and the south end of Hartford and well beyond as we serve.
So, Jeff, you had
the
mentioned
state.
before that you're a teaching hospital. Now, to my knowledge, there are only 2 major teaching hospitals in Connecticut, right? Yours and Yale. And Quinnipiac is getting ready to open, I think, a couple of years from now. And so that would make 3, although there are 2 predominant. What's it like to be a teaching hospital? I mean, most hospitals that people are familiar with are not teaching hospitals. And you have an affiliation with the University of Connecticut?
Correct.
Explain to us the dynamics of that, Jeff.
Correct. Well, there are 2 medical schools in the state of Connecticut, Yale and the University of Connecticut.
Right.
And within the University of Connecticut, the major teaching hospital being Hartford Hospital, also St. Francis and Hartford having a very significant teaching program, as well as New Britain General, where they have a significant residency for training. So in Hartford, we're very fortunate in the greater Hartford region to have a significant consortium that come together to support the University of Connecticut, as well as teaching that occurs at John Dempsey Hospital. So being a teaching hospital, particularly in a place like Hartford Hospital, where we have 270 residents and fellows, it's an important responsibility because it's how we ultimately can recruit and retain people in this community, succeed the physicians who are here, but also bring innovation and new technology to our community. So it's a very important role.
Jeff, let's go back about a year and a half. There was this big brouhaha about Hartford Hospital and the UConn Medical Center and the Dempsey Hospital that's down there, and that thing traumatized the Connecticut legislature and exited stage left. And now we've just had something else that's happened. Could you take just a couple of seconds to explain what that is?
Certainly. The governor of the state of Connecticut, Governor Malloy, has made a very important investment in biosciences and is viewing and recognizing the importance that biosciences and healthcare in general has from an economic development standpoint. So the state is putting approximately $900 million into the broader region. An element of that will be to rebuild the hospital campus in Farmington for John Dempsey, but it also will be infusing money at both the St. Francis campus, the Hartford Hospital campus, and New Britain General campus to support our efforts around teaching and innovation. So it's a real boom for the community.
That is big. I mean, that's a big deal, Jeff. Now, whose skin is in the game there? Is that just the taxpayers' money? Is it some of your money? Is it some of UConn's money? What's the deal there?
Well, this particular initiative I spoke to is really the state funding those initiatives. At the same point in time, each one of our own institutions has major initiatives. And one, Jim, to speak to that we've done at Hartford over the last several years is we developed the Center for Education, Simulation, and Innovation. And this is a center where we have mannequins for healthcare. We have simulated surgical robots.
I've seen pictures of that, Jeff.
It's truly remarkable. We're in the top 4 or 5 in the country in terms of range and scope of service. But what occurs now, Jim, every day, people from around the country come to Hartford, fly into Bradley, stay at our local hotels, eat at our restaurants, and train in our center.
So it's a destination training center.
It truly is, and we've made a major investment, and in fact the state has been supportive as well.
So the ripple effect, there are economic ripple effects to that as well.
Unquestionably.
So essentially in this laboratory, for want of a better word, or training facility, you have the mannequin equivalent of the bionic men and women in there, Jeff?
We do. Well, what's interesting is we have a trauma room, we have a medical room, we have operating rooms, we have robots, we have interventional
that operates
procedures
on the mannequins.
They operate across all the mannequins. We have video technology. Wow. We actually link right into our ORs so we can do simulated activity. This is the future.
Are you in production in that, Jeff? I mean, production training with that facility?
It does. Absolutely.
Well, I mean, I can tell you as a layman, Jeff, that's a relatively best-kept secret kind of a thing, because when you first said it, I smiled because I remember seeing some pictures of it or some video of it, but as a known entity, for what it's worth, it really is a best-kept secret.
It's analogous to the airline industry. Right? The first time somebody's flying you in the airplane, it's not the first time they flew the plane. Right? They were in the simulator for countless hours, and they experienced all of the different complications that occur. That occurs on our campus every single day. And it occurs for people for the entire state of Connecticut, but we're training people from throughout the world.
That's outstanding. That really is outstanding. I'm going to give you a quote, Jeff, from one of our famous Congress people. I give you Nancy Pelosi, who said, when she was still the Speaker of the House, she said something along the lines of, we've got to pass this in order to find out what's in it. I'm sure you remember that, Jeff.
Yes.
And of course, she was speaking of what we affectionately call Obamacare. But with a little bit of sarcasm and facetiousness aside, I mean, you're talking major, major ramifications to this country in general, to hospitals, to doctors, to the pharmaceuticals, et cetera. What's your view of it, Jeff?
Jim, there's a lot of uncertainty around what will happen in 2014 and what precisely the dynamics of this reform package ultimately will result in.
2014 is when?
It's when it starts to be implemented.
Okay.
But I can tell you our perspective. Our perspective here is within the Hartford Healthcare system is we are creating our own market-driven reform. And what I mean by that, it's about the patient. It's about the way we serve the community. And for us, our focus, our vision, is about the coordination of care and excellence in patient care. And we're creating a health system that's organized and designed for patients to enter any one of the cities and regions that we serve and have, through technology, through information systems, through clinical protocols, that they have the right care at the right time, at the right price, with the highest quality, top decile performance. So although we're certainly very aware...
By top decile, you mean top 10?
Top 10%. All of our protocols, all of our clinical outcomes are being designed to ensure that here in Connecticut, we've got the highest levels of performance for quality and for safety. But from our perspective, we're interested, obviously, in what's occurring at the state and federal level, and it's important to be closely engaged in it, and we are. But we have a broader vision, and we have a sense of purposefulness about our work, and it is about coordination of care.
So, among the things that Obamacare purports to do is bring another, pick a number, Jeff, I mean, every week it's different, another 30, 40, 50 million people in. We've got retiring baby boomers. I think the number is 78 million. I'm sure there's some overlap in there, but you're talking tens of millions of people coming